In May 1863, Captain Decimus et Ultimus Barziza and Hood's Texas Brigade began their march north with the Army of Northern Virginia. Battle-tested and fiercely loyal, the Texans endured sweltering heat, sparse rations, and rough terrain as they crossed into Maryland and then Pennsylvania. Spirits were high as they reached the Potomac, crossing into Union territory with the weight of the campaign stakes upon them. Ahead lay the critical confrontation at Gettysburg.
About sunrise on the morning of the 26th of June, 1863, we waded the river, the bands playing My Maryland. Cartridge boxes and haversacks were tied on the muzzles of the muskets and held over and above the shoulder, and with cheers, jokes, and laughter, the boys landed on the Williamsport side, dripping wet. About 2 or 3 miles from Williamsport, we called a halt, drew rations of bread, meat, and whiskey, and in a short time, cheerful fires were blazing, and the camp was in an uproar of joyousness.
After crossing the Potomac, Captain Decimus et Ultimus Barziza and the Texas Brigade pressed deeper into Northern Territory, reaching Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Along the way, the men marveled at the rich farmland and intact towns, a stark contrast to the ravaged South they had left behind. The brigade then received orders to advance toward Gettysburg, marching through heat and exhaustion to arrive on July 2nd. Barziza and his fellow Texans prepared themselves for the fight ahead, not yet knowing that this would become the most defining battle of the war.
We were hours getting into position, but finally formed in an open field under a gradual rising hill in our front. The long, drawn-out attention brought every man to his feet. The word forward was given, and we moved out. As soon as we cleared the brow of the hill and became exposed to the enemy's artillery, off we went. Not at an orderly double quick, but in a wild, frantic, and desperate run. Suddenly we find ourselves at the base of a range of hills, a rough, woody, rocky country. Here the great severity of the Federal infantry stopped our progress. Our line was compelled finally to retire and left me wounded in the hands of the enemy.